Good afternoon, Big Brother fans. It's me, Mike, aka BB Gossip, with a afternoon CarCast because, frankly, I was busy this morning and didn't have a chance to fire things up. But that's okay because, in the end, I got more to talk about since I have a better grasp of what the heck is going on in the house. So, here's what's up. Let's see. The power veto happened yesterday, the meeting, and Shanna used it to save Carson, and Chris Kirkpatrick went up in his place. And I'll tell you right now, we're going to make this one somewhat short. Chris Kirkpatrick is going to get voted out today. I thought that he might stand a chance to say, because Misha seemed to kind of be considering it, and then Cynthia would have gone. However, who everyone, and I think maybe even she kind of perceives as her number one, Todrick, is against it. Todrick seems to he's dead set against it. He wants Chris Kirkpatrick out. He's mad at Chris Kirkpatrick. He, at least what he's saying is he feels like Chris Kirkpatrick broke his promises to him. He had a deal with Chris Kirkpatrick, or a group deal with Chris Kirkpatrick, and suddenly Chris Kirkpatrick, kind of went against that. Now, Chris's argument is that people were coming to me telling me you were going against me, and maybe I listened to them when I shouldn't have. But to be totally honest and frank, Todrick is a man on a mission, and that mission is whatever his mission happens to be, and he is only going to believe what he wants to believe, and Chris Kirkpatrick has obviously wronged Todrick, at least in Todrick's world, and Todrick is dead set against giving Chris Patrick any kind of a break, which is fine, but he's been very preachy to Chris. He had Chris cornered for like an hour or more this afternoon or this morning, depending on your time zone. And to me, it just seemed like this is how I categorized it. Todrick knew he had a captive audience in Chris, because Chris is trying to save himself. And so he wants to talk to Todrick to kind of like talk him into maybe saving him. I don't think Todrick ever has any intention of saving Chris. But he's like, hey, you have to listen to me because you're thinking you might stand a chance, so you have to listen to me. So I'm going to lecture you for the next hour, and you just have to take it. And you will take it because you think there's a chance you may stay. When in reality, there's no chance you're staying. That's kind of how my read is on it. So, yeah, Chris is going to go. He's really, really not pleased with Carson. Todrick is really, really not pleased with Chris, to the point where at one point when the conversation ended today, when the end of the lecturing went, they did show that a little bit on the feeds. You see Todrick walking away from Chris and going like, that's the way it is. And he walks out to the kitchen and he's telling Misha, you know what? Nope. Production asked me if I would consider going in and redoing my goodbye to Chris, like re-recording it. But you know what? No, I'm not going. I said if we would work things out, maybe I would. But you know what? We're not working things out. As a matter of fact, if I went in now, it'd be even worse. So no, I'm not changing it. So my guess is that we're not going to see a farewell from Todrick on tonight's show. Now, I guess, as we've been told, that they get to see them all when they leave. That Chris will see whatever Todrick had to say. We'll have to see if that's how it works out, but that's what they say in the past, because of course that can influence your jury votes. So if Todrick got really mean and nasty in his goodbye message, Chris may see that. Now, I don't think Todrick is going to be sitting at the end, and even if he is, I don't think he's going to win it no matter what at this point, because he has kind of alienated most of the house. So what else is going on? And besides the Todrick, the fiasco that is Todrick at this point, Chris is going to go, and we have to see who wins the next head of household. Now, I just tweeted right before I started recording this. I said, of course, that means that Todrick is going to win head of household. And I am torn. I am torn between, oh my gosh, if Todrick ever wins head of household, he, I think, is going to be completely insufferable. We are not going to be able to stand him. And part of me wants that to happen. You know? Part of me wants to see insufferable Todrick, just to see how it goes. I don't know, man. I feel bad. I was kind of a Todrick. I was kind of like, oh, Todrick's cool. He's a big fan of Big Brother, and he hosted the cookout, and he really seems to be, going in and all these kind of good, popular, great things. And then I'm like, no. Now I'm like, no, I'm not a fan anymore. I mean, I don't know. I'm just not like, I was a fan of Todrick before he was a Big Brother contestant. I'm not like a fanboy fan, like, oh my God, he's so amazing. But at least, hey, this is another person who's a fan of Big Brother, and it's nice to see celebrities who are fans. But yeah, I don't know. Could be interesting if he gets either he, gets head of household and drives us crazy, or gets nominated and drives us crazy. And I don't know if he'll be nominated up front. I don't know if Carson or Cynthia happen to get head of household, or Shanna, they may put Todrick and Misha up. Now, Lamar has also indicated he may go after Todrick. We'll have to see if that really happens, but he also has to win head of household. So it will be interesting to see who the next head of household is tonight, and that should be tonight. I don't think it'll happen during the live show, but it may. I think it should, because I think the fireworks that might encourage people to sign up for the live feeds, and I think no matter who wins it, people are still going to turn in on Sunday to see what the hell happened. So I don't think if the reason to not show us is to get people to tune in on Sunday. Look, the ratings aren't doing awesome right now anyways. Just let people know so that they want to see what happens. I think people are more likely to want to tune in to see what happens based on who wins at a household. Then they're going to go like, oh yeah, I didn't get to see who's had a household. Let me tune that in to find out. That's just my thought. I think if Julie Chen teased it with, Todrick's the new head of household, that could bring a whole new level of whatever to the house. Make sure to tune in Sunday to see what happens. That would be the way to get people to watch. More so than wonder which one of these house guests is going to win head of household. I just don't think that's as big of a draw. So, I mean, the argument would be, yeah, some people won't turn it in if the wrong person wins it. No, I still think they would, because you never know who's going to win head of household or how they're going to act once they've won it or what they're going to do. So, anyways, that's what's going on with that. The other stuff that I would have talked about this morning would have been more about the big fight and blow up that happened between Todd and Shanna, because there was a big fight between Todd and Shanna. Now, I honestly have not gone back to watch it, but Big Brother Network, Matt at Big Brother Network, or someone at Big Brother Network, said to go back to about 12:08 p.m. yesterday. That's when the feeds came back at one point, and that's when the fight kind of kicked off between Shanna and Todd. Now, what it sounds like is, at least in part, besides other tensions going on, at least in part the fight happened because Todd was still mad at Shanna because she voted to evict Todd when it was Todd versus Teddy. And so Todd is holding a grudge against Shanna. That's why he says he's upset and why he got into a fight with her or a yelling match with her. So I do want to go back and check that out. I saw a couple of zingers that were thrown back and forth, like one where Shanna was making fun of Todd's tattoo, and then Todd made fun about Shanna, or said something about Shanna's Playboy spread. I don't know, was Shanna in Playboy? I'm not even sure. But there was a couple of stuff going on here. I kind of want to go back and check it out, but just haven't had the chance. So I may or may not try to do that at some point this weekend. We'll have to see how things go. So those are the big things. That fight kind of was the thing that was blowing up the feeds last night. And then the whole, it looks like Chris Kirkpatrick is going. He seems to know he's going. And I really think he is going. I don't think there's any shot for him to stay. So I really think Chris will be voted out. And then it'll be a matter of who's the next head of household. So they'll also need to address Chris Kattan leaving. Somebody tweeted at me and said, well, maybe they'll just cancel the eviction and reset. And I don't think they will. The reason for that is because that takes totally ruins Misha's head household. I think if they were going to do that, they would have done that earlier. They would have done that before the Power Veto ceremony if they were going to cancel things. They didn't. The Power Veto ceremony happened. So tonight's show will be, once again, besides however they address the power of Chris Kattan leaving, there will also be the whole Power Veto and then the lead up to the live eviction. They can easily fill 2 hours with stuff. Specifically, the Power Veto competition will be part of that filler. So that's what's going to happen on tonight's show. Again, it's 2 hours long. I, for one, I'm telling you, I will not be watching tonight's show live. I have other things to do, real life stuff. So we're near the end here. What we're going to do is we're going to I'm going to talk about real life stuff, and then I will give shout outs to my patrons. So those of you that want to stay around for that, good. If not, hey, thanks for listening. Real life stuff. So my, before Big Brother Celebrity, my world in February and March tends to revolve around basketball. Okay, I'm in the state of Indiana. We like basketball here, and I have 3 sons, and 2 of them, one of them didn't play a whole lot of basketball. He actually played he only played through middle school, but the other 2 played basketball, one through junior high. Did he play as a freshman? I can't remember if one played as a freshman. One may have played freshman basketball, and the other one played. He played freshman basketball. That's true. And the other one played all through high school, and is now a basketball coach as well. He's also a cross country coach and a track coach. He does multiple things at the high school level. And besides that, I'm also a college basketball. I grew up again. I'm a big-time college basketball fan, and I will say this for you guys. I've touched and kind of teased it, and I have said it a couple of times, but Purdue University, those of you that have even heard of it, but I've been going to Purdue University basketball games literally since the 70s, since I was a little kid with my dad, and I have my own tickets, and now my kids go with me, so that's what I'm doing when it's on. If it's a home game, I'm at it. If it's on TV, I'm usually watching it. If not live, I have, last night, I didn't watch it live. There was a Purdue game last night, so anyways, point is, I watch it, or I watch it I pretend that I avoid all social media, and then I watch it later recorded, and so it's new to me. So I'm a huge basketball fan. Last night I was at a high school game, and then I went home, and then I watched a college game. So Celebrity Big Brother is kind of throwing a wrench in some of these things, or trying to throw a wrench in some of these things, and I am not going to let it take over my life like regular Big Brother does. And so tonight there's a 2-hour show at 8 o'clock, but there's also a high school basketball game. There's 2 of them. There's the junior varsity, and then there's the varsity. And by God, I will be at those games, watching my son coach and watching the kids play, who I happen to know most of the kids too, because it's the high school that my wife and son teach at. So anyways, small town, small world, Mike's problems, but this is why I will not be watching Big Brother live tonight. I'll be watching high school basketball, and then I'll go home and watch it and complain about it on Twitter, as I usually do. So that's the plan. That's what I do. Now, we'll do the next wrap-up stage. So that's what's up with me. A little bit of insight into my life. The other thing I want to do is to give a shout-out to my patrons. So I haven't talked about it this week. I have said thanks to my patrons, but I haven't plugged it, so I'm going to plug it right now to the few of you that are still listening. I have a patron account. I was asked to set it up, suggested I set it up several years ago. And there are some really dedicated, I'm not even going to say fans, but some really dedicated friends that listen to me do this or follow me. And they have been contributing to my patron account, for some of them for literally 4 years. as a way to, I don't know, support me for doing this, because there are some costs involved, but it also just a mental time. And I said I will, buy things for my wife as a way to just say, here's these people saying thank you for lending Mike to my ears or my timeline on Twitter several times a year. And so the only thing I've said to my patrons is I will give you shout outs occasionally. Really, the whole thing says I will give you a shout out. But come on, some of these people have literally been doing it for years. And so I just occasionally try to run down my list of all my patrons, give them a very quick shout out. This time it is just going to be names. Last time I did names and started to go off on sidetracks, and I don't want to keep doing that. We're just going to throw out the names and say thank you to them all. You know who you are. And if you are interested in becoming a patron, you are more than welcome to. You can go to patreon.com/BBGOSSIP and sign up or ask me questions or whatever. That's it, because nobody's signed up this year, and that's quite all right, but I'm going to not bore everybody with it again since there's no need to. So, but I still give shout outs to all of those that are still doing it. And here they are. I think it's 17 patrons. We're going to start out saying Chatty. I think Chatty was my very first patron, and I missed her on my list the first time I did it a while ago. So I was like, oh my God, I missed her. How could I do that? So I am saying special shout out again to Chatty. All right, so everybody else on my list, first names or nicknames or whatever it is, I'm going to give you all of them right now. Iowa Grandma Deb, Aaron, Sandy, Ann or Annie, I can't remember which, I gotta go look up that conversation again. Sam, Kyle, Nona, Kimberly, Jacob, Angela, Kim, Diane, Saint Clinton, Becky, Ishara, and Susie. That should be everybody. If I miss someone, by all means, message me, and I will apologize profusely like I had with Chatty for the last week. So those are all my patrons. Thank you all. I do so appreciate it. I don't thank you enough, but I do appreciate it. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. I will probably record something this weekend. You never know when exactly. But yeah, so that's what's up. All right, enough of this chatter. I'm like 5 miles from the school, and so I'm going to go watch me a basketball game, and then we'll see if Todrick actually wins at a household tonight. Like I said, I don't really want him to, but another part of me really does. How's that? I don't know. Yeah. All right, guys. Bye. Thanks. Oh, shout out to John, too, and my sister if she listens to this. Both of you as well. Be well, everybody. Bye-bye.